Please subscribe to this video and get access all previous 5 video episodes of Alexander the Great and 2 more videos of ancient war in one place. A darkened throne room in Pella. Alexander, dressed in regal Macedonian armor, sits on a grand throne, his expression cold and resolute. Upon ascending the throne, Alexander moved swiftly to eliminate all potential threats. Before him, guards drag a terrified young man, Amyntas IV, his cousin, who is executed moments later. 2 princes from Lyncestes, suspected of conspiracy, were also killed, though he spared a third, Alexander Lyncestes. In the background, his mother, Olympias, orchestrated the brutal murder of Cleopatra Eurydice and her daughter and watches from the shadows as flames rise from a distant tower where Cleopatra Eurydice and her daughter Europa are burned alive. Upon hearing this, Alexander was enraged, yet did not interfere. Attalus, depicted in another panel, reads a letter from Demosthenes before a soldier enters his tent with a dagger. Attalus had been in secret communication with Demosthenes, considering defection to Athens. His insults against Alexander, combined with Cleopatra's murder, sealed his fate. Alexander also ordered the execution of Attalus, the commander of the army's advance guard in Asia Minor. However, Alexander spared his half-brother, Arrhidaeus, who was mentally unfit to rule, possibly due to poisoning by Olympias. Philip's death encouraged several Greek states to rise against Macedonian rule. A council chamber in Athens where Demosthenes addresses a gathering of Athenian statesmen, urging revolt. Besides, Thebes, Thessaly, and the Thracian tribes to the north revolted. A messenger bursts into the room with alarming news. Alexander is marching south. Alexander, though advised to negotiate, instead acted decisively. Meanwhile, in Thessaly, a heavily armed cavalry unit led by Alexander maneuvers over the mountains. With 3,000 cavalries, he rode south at full speed, confronting the Thessalian army blocking the pass between Mount Olympus and Mount Ossa. Rather than engage in direct battle, Alexander led his troops in a daring maneuver, riding over Mount Ossa to outflank the enemy. At dawn, when the Thessalians awoke to find the Macedonian army behind them, they surrendered without a fight and joined Alexander's forces. With his cavalry strengthened, Alexander continued southward. Alexander halted at the grand entrance of Thermopylae, where he stands before a council of Greek leaders who formally recognize him as the leader of the Amphictyonic League, securing an important political and military alliance. Further south in Corinth, where Athens, fearing destruction, sued for peace and the famous meeting between Alexander and Diogenes takes place. Alexander pardoned the rebels, demonstrating his capacity for both ruthlessness and diplomacy. Diogenes reclines in the sunlight, unimpressed by the presence of the young king, who stands before him amused by the philosopher's indifference. Standing before the reclined thinker, Alexander asked what he could do for him. Diogenes simply replied, "Stand aside. You are blocking my sunlight." Amused by his boldness, Alexander is said to have remarked, "If I were not Alexander, I would be Diogenes." A grand assembly in Corinth where Greek leaders pledge allegiance to Alexander. Also at Corinth, Alexander was declared hegemon, assuming the leadership of the Greek forces for the upcoming war against Persia, just as his father had envisioned. Macedonian troops stand ready in formation, their spears and banners reflecting the morning light. With Greece secured under his command, he turned his attention to the north, where a Thracian revolt threatened Macedonian stability. A messenger arrives from the north, breathless, delivering news of a Thracian uprising. With the Greek world momentarily pacified, Alexander's ambitions now extended beyond Greece. His next move would take him deep into the Balkans to crush the uprising, securing his rear before embarking on his most legendary campaign, the invasion of Persia.